This is a story about a viral video. It features a fisherman who was chased by more than 100 sharks and the footage he captured during the ordeal. It's an important story because it didn't just happen once. Fishermen off Australia's Gold Coast are encountering scenes like this all the time. And while sharks are often erroneously painted in a bad light, in this case, these bronze whalers could actually be dangerous. Welcome to Deep Blue Discovery. Coming up on this episode, our interview with fisherman Wayne McManus.
Hi, I'm Wayne and this is Deep Blue Discovery.
And more of his scary footage. But before we start, if you do like our videos, please don't forget to click the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Queensland, Australia. When fishermen like Wayne head out to sea, there's a good chance they'll be joined by these guys.
Whenever we winch the nets up, the sharks get attracted to the noise of the engines and that of the vessels. And with the brighter lights, whenever the lights come on, the sharks get to know that there's food coming or possible food coming. And that's what it attracts them around the vessels. And it's not just in this area here, it's all the way along the coast, from New South Wales up to Queensland right up. And the numbers and all the fishermen are complaining about how many sharks there are.
But for non-fishermen, it's difficult to believe this kind of thing happens. So one night, Wayne decided to film more than 100 bronze whalers, or copper sharks, following his boat.
This is the night of the video. That's just like an everyday occurrence to us, and we get to see, like on most nights we do work. And it was only just to show a few friends and that, just how many sharks are behind the boats. It's not just behind my boat, it's behind every other trawler that's working as well. The numbers just seem to be growing and growing, and people don't believe you, so the only way is to sort of show them.
The video went viral, and people all over the world now know what these Australian fishermen have to deal with. It's actually kind of obvious why a shark would follow a fishing boat. As Wayne explained, it's all about the easy meal. But why are there so many of them? Wayne thinks that has something to do with fishing too.
There's no one really allowed to catch them anymore here on the East Coast. And there's only one or two people that actually do catch them in New South Wales, just a couple. And in Queensland, and I'm not too sure of the numbers and that sort of stuff up north and that, but there's no one around here that catches them, so the numbers are just multiplying.
The bronze whalers are obviously just doing what any predator would do given the opportunity. Scavenging makes more sense than hunting because it takes less energy. But because the sharks are in full-blown feeding mode when they're following the boats, they do pose a threat to the crews. Of course, that's only if the fishermen fall in.
I don't think the outcome would be real good. I think if you had a bit of a nick or a cut or something, a little bit of blood or something, they'd just maul you. You see what they do to some of the stuff that we do throw back over. It wouldn't be a good outcome, I don't think.
Being eaten is just the tip of the iceberg, and not really that likely. But according to Wayne, fishermen are complaining about this. Being followed by so many sharks, sometimes more than 200, has the potential to affect their livelihoods.
When we winch the nets and that up, if the sharks bite the nets, we lose the product what's in the nets, and that affects the livelihood, of everyone sort of thing. And something has to be done about it with how many sharks that are around. And with the fishing and that, the numbers are more and more, and it's just going to be harder and harder to actually make a living, and even for the recreational people to actually catch a fish or a snapper or anything like that with a number of sharks.
As you would expect, sharks do play a vital role in maintaining ocean ecosystems. But in any environment, if there's a population surge, particularly at the top of the food chain, it can have knock-on consequences, and it can affect us too. Not just recreational fishermen, but swimmers and those who like to visit the Gold Coast's incredible beaches.
Here off the Gold Coast, here where I am, we have to stay 2 miles off the coastline. And in that coastline, that area there are shark buoys and shark nets here off the Gold Coast, and they do work and they do help in a lot of the cases. You get further south where there's a bit more marine park and that sort of stuff, and that's where there has been more commonly shark attacks over the last few years.
Last year, Australia was reportedly the deadliest place in the world for shark attacks. That's despite a global decrease for the third consecutive year. We can't say for certain that it's linked to this apparent population surge, but there were 8 fatal bites in Australian waters. Either way, Wayne's viral video taps into our base fears about sharks, partly because we often see them as being more solitary predators. Of course, we know that's not the case, because we've seen sharks gathered together before on Deep Blue Discovery. So that's how we're playing out today, to a montage of loads of sharks. Thank you for watching this episode of Deep Blue Discovery, and thanks to Wayne for taking the time to be interviewed. We'll be back next week with more awesome sea life footage.